pleasant day to each and everyone, especially to you, Ma'am Toledo. My name is Juliana Estatupeno, and today I'm going to discuss the post-war intervention toward agrarian reform. So this topic focuses on how the government provides a solution and the effort of the government to bring back the economic growth to the sector of agriculture. So I will be discussing the step made by the government, like making a new law to return the agriculture after the war. Post-war intervention towards agrarian reforms. Rehabilitation and rebuilding after the war focus on providing solutions to the problem of the past. So, after the war, our country's economy is slowly going back to normal. Binigyan na ng pansin ng gobyerno ang mga issue na iniwan nung digmaan, and one of these issues is the sector of the agriculture. The administration of President Rojas passed a Republic Act No. 34 to establish a 70-30 sharing arrangement between tenant and landlord, respectively, which reduced the interest of landowners to tenant at 6% or less. Hindi lang 70-30 sharing arrangement ang ginawa ng gobyerno, at nakadepende iyon sa pinag-usapan ng tenant at ng landowners. At dito rin pinasok ang Republic Act No. 34 or ang Freedom to Contract. Nakapaloob sa act na ito ay the landlord and tenancy should be free to enter in all kinds of tenancy contract as long as they are not contrary to the existing laws, morals, and public policy. Dito ay malay na nakakapag-usap ang tenant at ang landowners sa kung anong sharing arrangement ang mangyayari at kung ano ang mga ipapatupad. So, according to the Republic Act No. 34, we have common sharing arrangement, and it is the 70-30, 50-50, and 30-70. So, the 70-30 sharing arrangement is the tenant will oversee all the labors that will acquire 70%, while the rest is for the landowner. And the 50-50 sharing arrangement is they are all equal to the labor and expenses, while the 30-70 sharing arrangement is opposite to the first. The landlord will shoulder all the expenses while the tenant will maintain the farm. The government also attempted to redistribute hacienda lands, falling to prey to the host of similar attempts since no support was given to small farmers who were given lands. Under the term of President Ipilio Quirino, the Land Settlement Development Corporation or LASADECO was established to accelerate and expand the resettlement program for peasants. So, with the help of LASADECO, there's an open opportunity for those who graduated in agriculture to have a own land just like the farmers and the tenant. So, ang ginawa ng LASADECO ay sila nagpa-facilitate sa settlement at pagsasakahan ng lupa, at sila rin ang nagpo-provide ng irrigation system na maaring magamit ng kanilang mga farmers. So, the Land Settlement Development Corporation or the LASADECO become the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration or DINARA under the administration of President Ramon Magsaysay. The LASADECO also encouraged the farmer to use the machinery farming tools. In line with that, the LASADECO abolished and changed it to NARA, which is the National Resettlement and Rehabilitation Administration. So, these two has the same, but the differences is the LASADECO is focusing only on farming, while the NARA is a long-term solution that focuses on resettlement and rehabilitation. Ang ginagawa ng NARA ay sila ang nagbibigay, nagsasurvey at naghahati-hati ng lupa na pwede nilang ipamimigay sa mga Pilipino. Sila rin ang naka-assign upang alamin kung ang napili nilang pagbibigay ng lupa ay nararapat o hindi. They also give assistance to help the settler para transport ang kanilang kagamitan patungo sa kanilang lilipatan. They also help the settler to secure the things, supplies, and the things they needed. Under the administration of Ramon Magsaysay, there were several interventions for land reform. First, President Magsaysay convinced the Congress to pass a legislation to improve the land reform situation. Republic Act number 1199 or Agricultural Tenancy Act was passed in order to protect the neural rights of tenants enforce tenancy practices. Second, Court of Agriculture Relation was established on 1955, purposely to improve tenancy securities and resolve land disputes. Third, the establishment of the Agriculture Tenancy Commission to administer created by the tenancy. Nagtatak ng Republic Act number 119 o tinatawag na Agricultural Tenancy si President Ramon Magsaysay. This act is to protect the rights of both tenancy and landowner and to ensure the equality. Pagkatapos niyan, dito na nabuo ang Court of Agricultural Relations sa 1995. Ano nga ba ang meron sa Court of Agricultural Relations? It is to improve the security or fix the land rentals of the tenancy and to resolve land disputes by the landowner. Fourth, the creation of Agricultural Credit and Cooperative Financing Administration or the ACFA, mainly to provided warehouse facilities and assist farmers in marketing products. ACFA is an agency and the purpose of this agency is to have a farmers a process to store and budgeting their harvest and to obtain a government loan. Kasi alam naman natin na nung kapanahonan nila kung gaano kahirap mag-deliver ng mga produkto na harvest sa mga ating mga farmers. At itong ARFA ay sila yung tumutulong upang mapabilis o mapadali ang pag-process ng mga produkto at hindi ito masayang. Lastly, the administration lead establishment of agricultural banks to provide easier terms applying for a lot of and other term from land. Si President Ramon Magsaysay ay nagtatag din ng Agriculture and Industrial Bank which is to provided easier in terms of applying homes and land forms. Ang lima na yon ang ginawang intervention ng ating Pangulong Ramon Magsaysay. Una ay nagtatag siya ng Republic Act number 1199 o tinatawag na Agricultural Tenancy. Pagkatapos nun, doon naman nabuo ang Court of Agricultural Relation. Pagkatapos naman nun, doon naman nagsimula ang ACFA o tinatawag na Agricultural Credit and Cooperative Financing Administration. At ang panghuli ay ang Agricultural and Industrial Bank. Primary source, Declaration of Policy under Republic Act number 3844 or also known as Agricultural Land Reform Code. So, we're going to tackle the Republic Act number 3844 kung ano yung mga nakapaloob sa act na ito. So, the first is to establish owner cultivatorship and the economic family-sized farm as the basis of Philippine agricultural and as a consequence divert landlord capital in agricultural to industrial development. It means that any person providing capital and management personally cultivate his own land with the aid of his immediate family and household number. Second is to achieve a dignified existence for the small farmers free from pernicious institutional restraint and practices. So, kapag sinasabi naman natin institutional, ito na yung product na may limit mobility. And it is used in cases where patient may pose danger to themselves. So, these products are made with utmost concern for the patient safety and produced with materials and design that are aimed to eliminate the potential hazard. And the third is to create a truly viable social and structure conducive to greater productivity and higher farm income. An agrarian society is identified by its occupational structure. People are involved domestication of plants and animals and other or related activities such as weaving battery and small occupations for the blacksmith, sweepers, watchmen, etc. So, I will read the number 4. To apply all labor laws equally and without discrimination in both industrial and agricultural wage earner. Every person has the right to enjoy the human rights without discrimination because we are all equal. At dahil dito, dapat magkakaroon ng protection upang maiwasan ang diskriminasyon. So the number 5 is to provide a more vigorous and systematic land resettlement program and public land distribution. The qualified beneficiaries are farmers, tellers, and farm workers who are landless and who own less than 3 hectares of agricultural lands. Lastly, to make the small farmers more independent and self-reliant and responsible citizens, and the source of genius strength, democratic society. Democratic society are connected to the values of tolerance, cooperation, and compromise. That would be all for my discussed topic, which is the post-war intervention towards agrarian reform. And the next reporter will discuss the agrarian reform efforts under Marcos. So that will be all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Hussein Omar, and for today, I'm gonna discuss the subtopic of chapter 4.5 entitled Agrarian Reform Effort under Marcos. But before we dig into that, who is Ferdinand Marcos Sr.? Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was the 10th president of the Philippines, serving from 1965 to 1986. He declared martial law in 1972, extending his rule and centralizing power. His regime is known for infrastructure projects, but also for widespread corruption, human rights abuses, and cronyism, which led to its ouster during the People Power Revolution in 1986. In 1972, President Marcos imposed martial law, allowing him to dissolve Congress and extend his authority. With the support of technocrats, he sought to restructure the government, focusing on land reform. Presidential Decree 27 aimed to transfer land ownership from landlord to tenant farmers, serving as a foundation of his agrarian reform. However, its effectiveness was hindered by difficulties in implementation and opposition from landowners. Primary source: Presidential Decree 27 on October 21, 1972. Note: this shall apply to tenant farmers of private agricultural lands primarily devoted to rice and corn under a system of sharecrop or lease tenancy, whether classified as land estate or not. And let's proceed to bullet number 1. According to Presidential Decree number 27, tenant farmers were entitled to own up to 5 hectares of non-irrigated land or 3 hectares if irrigated land. This provision aimed to ensure that tenant farmers could have a family-sized farm of their use. And for the bullet number 2, the decree allowed landowners to keep up to 7 hectares of land if they were actively farming it or intended to farm it. This provision was designed to let them retain a portion of their land for personal use. For the third bullet, the cost of the land to be given to tenant farmers was calculated as 2.5 times the average harvest from the 3 normal crop years before the decree. This approach ensured the land's value was tied to its recent productivity. Bullet number 4. Tenant farmers had only 15 years to pay for the land in equal yearly installments. The total amount included an annual interest rate of 6%, making the payment manageable over time. The fifth bullet states that if a tenant farmer missed a payment, the farmers' cooperative would step in to pay the amount, but they could later collect the owed amount from the farmer. The sixth bullet: the government promised to cover the farmers' payments by using share from its own companies as a guarantee, ensuring the payments were protected. Seventh bullet: tenant farmers will only get official ownership of the land after they join a recognized farmers' cooperative as a full member. This rule ensured that they are engaged with the cooperative before receiving the land titles. The eighth bullet states that land obtained through this decree or the land reform program can only be transferred by inheritance or returned to the government, following the rules set by the decree and other relevant laws. And for the last bullet, The Secretary of Department of Agrarian Reform is given the authority to establish the rules and regulation needed to implement this decree. Operation Land Transfer. Operation Land Transfer aimed to redistribute large rice and corn farms to tenants, supported by the Masagana 99 program, which provided loans for land and farming inputs. Despite this, landlords circumvented the reform by switching to exempt crops like coconut and sugars, or by replacing tenants with wage workers. This not only increased landlessness but also undermined the reform's goal. The situation was worsened by corruption among Marcos and his associates, who were involved in the agriculture and further impeded the program's success. Thank you all for listening, and that's all for the topic in Chapter 4.5. Thank you.